Welcome back to the channel. Thank you guys for hanging with me on this Tuesday. So the spawn is on most places in this country. And what's crazy about the springtime when you get water that's mid 60s is you may take a week off of fishing, you got other stuff going on, and come back to your favorite part of the lake, the area where you typically fish, and every fish has went from pre-spawn spawn to post-spawn, with maybe a few that are still guarding fry, but the whole lake has changed. So that's why I think it's super important to constantly be keeping everything on your deck honest and have a lot of rods. Have 12 rods and be looking for the next new bite going on in your lake, because you got to realize we have about a month and a half left of changing conditions. But when we get into summertime, the fishing doesn't change a whole lot. The bait gets out to the main river, gets out on the main lake, and the fish don't really have to do much different other than sit on those same spots, get fished for by those same boats. They don't move around a whole lot in the summertime. So as fishing is changing every day and quickly, I think there are a lot of baits that go from being a certain type of bait, like a chatterbait in the pre-spawn, where you're typically looking for sun. You want fish to move shallow in colder months, colder water temps. You need some sunshine to get the fish to move. So a chatterbait is a great sunny lure when we are in the pre-spawn and the water's cold. As we get into this spawn, post-spawn, it really seems like they bite it when it's cloudy. Now, they bite it when it's cloudy, when the water's cold, but it just seems like if you want to get a bite in the month of April on a chatterbait, you need the right conditions. That sunshine is going to make the fish spawn in April. A chatterbait's not a great spawn bait, but if you have fish that are around the spawning areas, but they haven't spawned yet, and they're still in that pre-spawn mode, you need some clouds to catch them. So as the fishing does come alive, every fish now in the lake is getting shallow and starting to get ready to spawn, like the bluegill. That green pumpkin color is going to be a really good color. But again, if you don't have clear water in your lake, you need something that's going to cater to fish on those cloudy days. So I'm a big fan of white and chartreuse with a white trailer, gold blade. It just seems like if you have some type of stain in your water, it could be green stain, it could be that tannic tea colored stain. That gold blade is a crusher, and especially on days where there's clouds. So this goes into everything I'm talking about, how baits are constantly changing. New ways to catch bass are constantly evolving as we get into the springtime. And the chatterbait goes from what I feel like is a great sunny time bait to a great cloudy bait, and only a cloudy bait as we're in April with warmer water in the 60s. And when fish spawn, I think that's when a swim jig is a better option shallow. So if you have fish that are more so spawning and post-spawn, a swim jig is going to be a better bait than a chatterbait. But a chatterbait is like a lot of baits that you throw in the month of April. They work year round, so you can never take it out of the equation. You always have to at least try it, especially if you have some type of submergent vegetation on your lake. But it is a different bait now than it was a couple months ago, and I think that's important to note. Some other colors are going to work, things like that. And those reds that we're probably working on your lake in March and February are going to kind of be fizzling off. It's more so about those brim patterns. And then the shad are going to be a lot more active now than they were a month ago. So your shad colors, you just kind of need a special day to catch them on those whites and chartreuses, but they do work really well on those days. So I think the chatterbait is one for me. You got to kind of move with the times on it. And another big thing I will say about the chatterbait is a big swim bait like this. I have this on there because I was throwing this a couple weeks ago when most of the fish were in the pre-spawn, but I will be changing this to a Lake Fork Live Magic Shad or a Gary Yamamoto Zako, because I want more searching action. I want my bait to do more. This big swim bait on there that's a lot of plastic kind of muzzles the action. It's almost just like a swim bait with a little bit more vibration. I want a bait that's going to be searching all through the water, and you get that action by less plastic. not a big tail on the back, not that boot style tail, and not all that thick plastic. You want to go to something that has less action in the trailer, therefore creating more action in your chatterbait because it's not muzzling all that vibration from that blade. But that's what I'm going to be doing going forward with the chatterbait. Year round, it's a great bait, but it does change in the springtime. So try that, guys. Good luck to you, and I'll see you on the water.